So, Gabby Williams just dropped a bombshell that's got everyone talking. She's officially shutting down any hopes of returning to the WNBA, and she didn't just politely decline, she snubbed Angel Reese, burned the Chicago Sky, and pretty much exposed the whole league while she was at it. But why would a player of Gabby's caliber turn her back on the WNBA, especially after such a killer performance at the Olympics? And what does this mean for the future of women's basketball? Let's talk about it because there's a lot more to this story. Let's start from the beginning. You might remember Gabby Williams from her college days at UConn, where she wasn't just good, she was a star. We're talking 2 NCAA championships, 2 All-American honors, and a defensive game that made her a nightmare for opponents. So when the Chicago Sky selected her with the 4th overall pick in the 2018 WNBA draft, it felt like the start of something big. But here's the thing. Pro sports are rarely a smooth ride. For 5 seasons, Gabby was a key part of the Sky, making plays and hustling every game. Yet, in 2021, things took a sharp turn. The Chicago Sky suspended Gabby for the entire season. Yeah, you heard that right, an entire season. Why? Because she wanted to represent France in the Olympics. Let's just say the Sky, particularly then head coach and GM James Wade, weren't thrilled about it. They believed she didn't make the Sky a priority and opted to miss WNBA games to play for her national team. This wasn't just a professional setback for Gabby, it felt personal. She'd poured her heart into the team, and this was the thanks she got? You might be thinking, how does a situation like this get so messy? Well, it didn't stop there. Gabby was traded to the Los Angeles Sparks and then quickly moved to the Seattle Storm. It was clear trust had been broken and the damage was done. So Gabby made a bold decision. She left the WNBA to play overseas, where the respect, and let's be honest, the paychecks, were far better. But why is it that so many WNBA stars are making this same move? We'll get to that in a minute. First, let's talk about how Gabby didn't just fade away after leaving the WNBA. She came back stronger, especially on the world stage. Now let's fast forward to the 2024 Olympics, where Gabby Williams wasn't just playing, she was dominating. Picture this. France is neck and neck against Team USA in the Olympic final, and it's a nail-biter. Gabby put up 19 points, grabbed 7 rebounds, and dished out 2 assists. But it wasn't just about the stats. Gabby was everywhere, making key plays and locking down defenders. And then, with just seconds left on the clock and France down by 3, Gabby took the ball, made a move past her defender, and drained the shot from the 3-point line that would have sent the game into overtime. The crowd went wild, but after review, her foot was on the line, which gave Team USA a 1-point win. Despite heartbreak, Gabby became an instant national hero for taking the mighty Team USA to the limit. You might be wondering, after a performance like that, wouldn't she want to jump back into the WNBA? Well, that's where things get interesting. After the Olympics, Angel Reese reached out hoping to recruit Gabby back to the Chicago Sky. But instead of an enthusiastic yes, Reese got a cold, hard no. And Gabby didn't just say no, she burned the Sky saying, "They did me dirty, girl." Ouch. That's not just a rejection, that's a statement. So, what does this tell us about how Gabby feels about the WNBA? Let's dig a little deeper into that. Gabby Williams isn't the only WNBA star who's had to make tough choices like this. Let's talk about why so many top players are choosing to play overseas instead of staying in the WNBA. It all comes down to the money, or more accurately, the lack of it. You might be thinking, why is there such a big pay gap between the WNBA and the NBA? Well, it's all about revenue. The NBA brings in billions from TV deals, sponsorships, and merchandise, allowing them to offer players multi-million-dollar contracts. The WNBA? Not so much. The league's revenue is just a fraction of what the NBA makes, which directly impacts how much players can be paid. Here's a key point. WNBA players receive a smaller share of league revenue compared to their NBA counterparts. While NBA players get around 50% of the league's revenue, WNBA players receive about 20%. That doesn't just affect salaries, it impacts everything from travel to accommodations. WNBA players often have to fight just to get the basic respect and fair compensation they deserve. Let's look at Diana Taurasi, one of the greatest to ever play the game. In 2015, she made headlines by skipping the entire WNBA season after her Russian team offered her over $1.5 million to sit out. And she's not alone. Brittany Griner and others have made similar decisions, choosing overseas leagues where they feel more respected and better compensated. So, what does this mean for the WNBA? Is it possible to close this gap and keep top talent from leaving? Hold that thought, because we're about to dive into some changes that could be on the horizon. Let's get back to Angel Reese's attempt to bring Gabby Williams back to the WNBA. After seeing Gabby's stellar performance in the Olympics, Reese thought it was the perfect time to reach out. But instead of a warm welcome, Gabby's response was cold as ice. Her words, "They did me dirty, girl." That's not just a no, it's a full-on burn. You might be thinking, why wouldn't Gabby want to come back after everything she's accomplished? The answer lies in how she was treated. Reese's attempt to recruit Gabby wasn't just about adding talent to the team. It was an effort to mend fences. But Gabby's response shows just how deep the wounds go. It's not just about basketball anymore. It's about respect, value, and how those experiences shape a player's decisions. And the fact that this whole exchange played out on social media? That just adds another layer to the drama. It's a reminder that in today's world, nothing is private. Every word, every action is out there for everyone to see. And for Gabby, it was the perfect platform to make it clear that she's not interested in going back to a league that didn't have her back when it mattered most. So, what does this mean for the WNBA moving forward? Let's explore what's changing and what still needs to change. So, what does all this mean for the future of the WNBA? Gabby Williams' decision to stay overseas raises some serious questions about the league's future. The pay gap between the WNBA and international leagues is one of the biggest challenges, but it's not the only one. Respect, value, and how players are treated all play a huge role in whether top talent stays or goes. But here's where it gets interesting. Things are starting to change. The WNBA is gaining more attention, with better deals, more media coverage, and increased hype around the league. And a significant part of this renewed interest? It's thanks to superstar rookie Caitlin Clark. Let's talk about Caitlin for a second. Her record-breaking performances and electric style of play have drawn in a new wave of fans, including those who may have never tuned into a WNBA game before. Clark isn't just changing the game, she's changing how people see the league. The increased viewership and fan engagement are starting to attract more sponsors and media deals, which could eventually lead to better pay and conditions for the players. If the league can continue building on this momentum, it could start to close the gap between itself and other professional sports leagues. The league is already making strides with increased exposure and a growing fan base, and players like Caitlin Clark are at the forefront of this transformation. Gabby Williams' decision to stay away from the WNBA highlights the need for the league to address these issues if it wants to keep its top talent. The WNBA has made great strides in recent years, but the pay disparity and the way players are treated remain significant hurdles. If the WNBA wants to continue growing and attracting top talent, it's going to need to find ways to better support its players, both financially and personally. That means addressing the pay gap, improving the way players are treated, and creating an environment where athletes feel valued for their contributions, both on and off the court. Gabby Williams' decision to stay overseas, and the way she burned Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, is more than just a personal story. It's a reflection of the broader challenges facing the WNBA. Williams isn't the only player to choose overseas opportunities over the WNBA, and unless the league addresses the issues of compensation and player treatment, she won't be the last. The WNBA has come a long way, but if it wants to continue growing and attracting top talent, it's going to need to address these challenges head-on. That means paying players what they're worth, respecting their commitments to their national teams, and creating an environment where they feel valued. Gabby Williams' story is a reminder that in professional sports, it's not just about what happens on the court. It's about how players are treated, how they're valued, and how they're supported in their careers. The WNBA has the potential to be the best women's basketball league in the world, But it's going to take more than just great players to get there. Let us know what you think in the comments. Did Gabby Williams make the right decision to stay overseas? What can the WNBA do to better support its players? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest in women's basketball and beyond. Click the video on the screen to watch more content, and we'll see you in the next one.